there are so many symbolic gestures around death and rebirth that you really can't start anew unless something dies away. And I think this is the nostalgia of fall. You know, that we have this sense of holding something in its beauty as it's leaving us. You know, we're thankful for all the warmth of summer and, like you said, Steve, the harvest and the agricultural cycles, and we have this opportunity for new beginnings. And if you know, remember the story of the phoenix, this constant cycling of death and rebirth and death and rebirth. um, one of the things that I try to remember, and I'm sure you all do too, is that we don't have to wait for a specific day of the year for this to happen. It doesn't have to be Rosh Hashanah, or it doesn't have to be New Year's Day, or it doesn't have to be, you know, pick a day like first day of spring or whatever kind of finds itself as a symbolic time of rebirth. Um, it can be any breath that you take. It can be any morning that you wake up. It can be any time you know, decide to step new into the moment. So you know, yes, there's these days where we have this energy, that's this cultivation of this kind of energy, but it's available to us at all times. So even if your heart doesn't match the syncing of your calendar, you know, perhaps you're not ready to release something, and then in the heart of winter on February, you know, 9th, you're suddenly reborn into something. So try to remember that the opportunity for change and for growth and rebirth is available in every breath we take. So as you close your eyes, maybe it's a lot to think about dropping and rebirthing, but perhaps it can be something very simple, such as just having a new perspective on something that's troubling you, or seeing someone you love with a fresh pair of eyes, or when you step outside today after yoga, to take a moment to recognize beauty around you. So whatever, you know, however rebirth kind of shows up for you, whatever the celebratory sweetness, you know, the honey of the moment is for you, try to be present for it, and also give yourself the grace of the stumblings that happen along the way. That, you know, it's very difficult to let things go, and it's very difficult to birth what you're trying to achieve in life. So take grace along for the ride with you. All right, so as we sit up straight and tall and take a moment to become aware of your body, every time we step on the yoga mat is also a beautiful opportunity to renew yourself, to rebirth your own physicality too, to come home into the awakening of self. So as you close your eyes, find something that's here right now that you haven't paid attention to yet today. There's maybe a sensation in your body, or the way the breath is kind of helping your mind calm. Whatever you're noticing, let's just pay attention to the consistency of change, that whatever you're feeling now, whatever's arising, will continue to arise. Things constantly are arising and falling. So feel your way into the rhythm of your breath, and let the subtlety of what shifts within you as you inhale and as you exhale be this symbolic gesture of, moment by moment, I can choose what it is I'm taking in, and I can choose my perspective, and I can let go of what's no longer serving. So as you breathe here, notice your body too, kind of expand your awareness beyond your breath to feel your shoulders, to feel around your face, to melt through your skull, or just scanning the body anywhere for a place where you might be a little tense or gripped that could have some resolution, some freedom. And remember baby steps that you don't have to have sweeping change all the time. Breath by breath, you can make subtle shifts. Ready? Place your hands together at your heart. And let's, as we join our palms, find that centering and let the hands be a gesture for the mind to follow. And place whatever intentions for the new year that you have been contemplating and cultivating. Just place them here and now. Release your hands and find your way onto your back. All right, so as you stretch out and find length in your body, again, the joy of doing yoga a little bit every day is that we get to find what's new in our body each and every day. You know, you might notice when that things are different day by day. You know, one day your back might hurt, next day maybe not. One day you might have lots of energy, the next day not. So honor what you're experiencing right now. And if it's comfortable to do so, let's stretch the arms overhead. What made me yawn, maybe it made you yawn too. So just find your way into a little bit of a squeezing of the spine here, feeling that length through your arms. And let's take a moment to really work with hiking the hips. So reach one hip up and then reach the other as you stretch that opposite foot. And just find that, you know, I call it the climbing of the ladder, but it's not exactly that. But I think you know what I mean. Where we let our shoulders and our hips come offline. All right. And then go ahead and bend your knees and put your feet on the ground. And let your knees kind of fall out to the side like a moment of Supta Baddha Konasana. And just feel your way into your breath here. Take a moment to let your head and neck relax. Just feeling your hips open in this way. Melt just a moment here. We can move all we want in just a moment to feel into the stillness and let your body rest on the ground. Enjoy the opening of your pelvis, your belly, your breath, your chest, your heart, your throat. And then you release your knees back in toward each other and pick up your knees and get them close to your chest and have a little bit of rocking. So let's circle the knees, kind of rolling in one direction. Rolling in another. And then rolling in a third direction here. And, you know, you can open your knees away and bring them back in. You can do any kind of movement that's just going to allow the pelvis and the hips to find a little bit of freedom. And then stretch your limbs all the way out to a star and roll your ankles while you're here. Give them a roll one direction, give them a roll in another direction, maybe your wrists too. And then maybe some wiggles of your fingers and your toes. And maybe some internal and external rotation of your femur bones. And then draw your knees into your chest and lay your back around a little bit. And put your head back down onto the ground, out wide again. Now, I tend to like to do this off my mat, but I'm going to stay on my mat for now, just because a floor that's not grippy tends to work better than this, with this.
So we're gonna draw our elbow and our knee toward each other and roll onto that side and curl to a little ball. And then we're gonna open up to a star on the ground. We're gonna go to the other side, knee and elbow drawing toward each other, and let the rest of the body roll over that point and back. Now, if you've done this with me before in yoga class, we've taken the mats off the ground so that you can really feel that side body lateral bending first before rolling over onto your side and rounding. So it really does, if you have the ease of being able to move off your mat for a moment and do this on a wood floor or even just on the carpet, but not on a mat, it's very nice. And just going back and forth and feeling that rhythmic movement of breath and body together. We're going to end all the way out to a star here, reaching our fingers and toes one more time. And then draw your knees into your chest and give yourself a little bit of a hug. Okay, find your breathing, relax your head. And when you're ready, roll to your side and come up. So now my mats are all, wonkadoo from being on them. And if you haven't mastered that movement that I just did, it was very clunky for me because I'm doing it on carpet on 2 mats. But truly, if you have a space in your house, I do this on my kitchen floor because that's the only kind of broad, wide open wooden floor that I have. But it's any type of smooth flooring. It's such a nice way of just letting your body find movement in a very primal movement pattern. All right, so come to cat cows once you're on all fours and enjoy. Try to remember that every breath you take is an opportunity for something new to arise within you. It might be something physical that's arising in your sensation awareness. It could be the shifting of your mind toward present moment awareness. Just see what's happening as you find your inhales and your exhales. Even that alone can just be a beautiful thing to just remember to breathe regularly instead of holding the breath. All right, and then wag your tail. Move like a fish right through your spine, feeling that sense of rhythm as you side bend a little bit. Okay. And then we're going to turn all the way and look at our left foot, and you can stick your right hip out to the side. So we're just kind of opening up the side of our body here. And then back to center. Drop your hips over to the other side. Turn, look at your right foot. Let your left hips move out to the left. And then come back to center. Curl the toes under. Stretch back towards child's pose with your toes curled under so you get your bottom of your feet to wake up a little bit more. And then come back up onto all fours and have another movement of the spine. Stretch your left foot straight back behind you. Curl your whole footbed under so that your calf is really opening. And then as you're ready, cross that left foot over to the right and look out over that side and let the side of your body open up. Breathing deep. And come back to center. We're going to pick that foot up off the ground, the whole leg up off the ground. Pulse it a few times so you feel that integration into your center body, core, glutes, everything's here. And then we're going to bring our knee up toward our armpit. Look at your knee and bring it straight back. We'll do that twice more. Exhale to draw your knee up toward your armpit. Look at it. Inhale to bring your leg back. Remember your core here. And then place that foot or your whole knee down onto the ground. A regular child's pose. Walk the hands out in front of you. And let's walk the hands over to the right side of the mat. So you continue to open that left side of your body, dropping your hips down, feeling that opening through your rib cage. Remember the breath. Every inhale, every exhale. Come back over to the other side. Feeling a deep reach. Settle your hips toward your heels. Opening up that side room of the body here. And then coming back to center, up onto all fours again. Take your right leg behind you, curl up toes under, open up the calf. Cross that leg over to the left. Take a look at that right foot on the left side of your mat. Breathe into the side waist, breathe into the hip. And then come back center and lift that right leg up in the air. Stabilize with your left shin on the ground, your core is engaged. Maybe a couple of pulses here. Deep breath in and away. When your next breath out comes, go ahead and draw your knee toward your armpit. Look at your knee. Inhale, bring it on back. Twice more. Bring that leg all the way back. Curl your toes under and lift to a dog pose. So take some time, pedaling your feet, kind of awakening the backs of your legs. Breathing deeply here. Feeling that push off your hands, fullness of your feet, the fullness of your palms, melt through your skull. How's the breath here? All right, walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana, folding in half. Hands on blocks. If you'd like, if you're a block user, okay. Inhale for a halfway lift. So you feel that full extension here. And exhale. And melt and fold again. Let your back lengthen. Bend your knees as much as you need. One more time, a halfway lift. Melting, folding. Stop your feet. Rising high. Bring the arms to the sky. Feel that extension opening up here. Let's cactus open the arms, spreading open your chest. Inhale, bring the arms up. And then take your hands behind your head and allow your head to just have a little gentle press into the hands. So we're not having, deep pressure there, but just a little contact. Open up the elbows, drop the shoulder blades down the back. Take your feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Find your breath and reach upward through one side of your body. Reaching the elbow up toward the sky, grounding through your feet. Coming back, change sides. Elbow up, rooting your foot down. Melt the base of your skull. Come back center, reach the arms up. Grab your wrist and reach up again. Finding that extension. Back to center, reaching up over the other way. Just getting those side bodies awake and alive. Give your shoulders a little shake. Shake out your hands. Interlace your hands behind your back or use a strap like I'm doing. Open up across the chest, across the heart. Hug the shoulder blades toward each other. Bend your elbows behind you just a little bit and hug everything toward the midline back there. Keep the base of your skull soft. All right, and then straighten your elbows and go ahead and bend forward, relaxing your skull. Breathing deeply. And then release your hands, let go of the strap if you had one, and find Uttanasana. Step back to a dog pose. Hands on the ground, stepping your feet back, feeling that full length again. Check in with your breath. Every time we go a couple poses, you might notice, oh, I lost track of what my breath was doing. So keep coming home to it and remember this intention of new beginnings on every breath. Let's come forward into a plank, holding the sturdy self, shoulder blades away from the ears, press evenly through your hands. Feel the index finger mounds, find some reaching into the earth. Inner thighs lifting, find your breath. Knees come down to the ground, find the earth. A few shoulder rolls here. Inhale, cobra pose, a big open heart. Exhale, melting back down. Once more, finding that open heart as you lift, and your cobra might be a little bit different. Maybe your arms, maybe you're in a sphinx pose or a wide arm pose, whatever feels really good. Come on up, move your spine around, feel that extension. Back drop to child's pose. Sink the hips down toward the heel. And we're going to come up onto all fours and bring your right foot in front. Keep your back knee down onto the ground for a moment. Let the hip flexors open up. And we often do this with our knee off the ground. We're going to do it with it down on the ground today. But of course, if your knee doesn't like being on the ground, you can always alternate that. Okay, so we're straightening our front leg, half Padmasana, back into a lunge. Back and forth here where we stay on our heel, straightening the leg, and then come onto our full foot as we bend the knee. Find half Padmasana. Hang out here for a moment. You might need to stack 2 blocks. We're going to do a couple things here. So first, we're reaching up. So root down with your left foot, left arm reaching up and over. Finding that extension. We'll find our way bending into a lunge and cross that arm, forearm or elbow to the knee. Open up across your chest. You can keep your hand on your blocks or you can take it wherever feels good. And then come back to half Padmasana. Reach that arm up and over one more time. And then relax. We're going to change the blocks to be on the other side. So on the inside edge of your leg now. Reaching that right arm up in the air. Twist open. Drop the hip down. Inner spiral that right leg so we're not letting the leg turn out. Open up across your chest. Stretch heart to hand. Sink down through the hip. Hug your left hip in as you drop an anchor through your right sit bone. Okay, come back to center. Before we do the second side, come up and turn sideways on your mat. Wide-legged stance. Release your head down. Find the breath. All right, now from here, we'll come up. You can bring your hands on blocks if you like, or on the ground. And we're going to bend our right knee, opening up into the inner thigh of that left leg. And then come back, go the other side. Find your breath. One more time each side. Opening up that inner groin. Feeling the inner hamstring lengthen through your spine. Back to the other side. Breathing well. Wide-legged stance again. Turn back to the front side of your mat. Bring the blocks with you and then put your hands down onto the ground, dog pose. Feel the extension as you bring that leg back. Find harmony and symmetry. Return to the breath again. Come on to your knees. And let's bring the left foot in front. Coming to a lunge, back knee on the ground. You can always do this with the back knee up off the ground if that's better for your body. A deep lunge. Open through your heart. And then let's find our way into a half Padmasana and into a lunge. Back and forth. Move with your breath. You can take the blocks with you. You can keep them in one place. Whatever feels nice for you. How are you breathing? You just slowly enjoy the feeling of opening across the hamstrings and glutes and sacrum, and then across the hip flexors. All right, when you're ready, we'll stay in half Padmasana. Drop that hip down. You might need to stack 2 blocks. See what feels good for your height. We're putting the blocks on the left side. If we're using the left hand down, right arm up. Feel that extension, then arc over a little bit. Notice if you're a little compressed in that right side or left side, drop your left hip down. Press your right shin into the ground. Relax the base of your skull. Okay, come back to a neutral, come into a lunge. And then let's return to that side body opening. And then eventually turning it into a twist. Finding breath. Notice where the breath easily goes. Notice where you might press into the breath a little bit. And then come back to center. Half Padmasana. Again, drop that hip down. Find your breath. We'll change the blocks to the other side. So now the blocks are on the inside edge of your left leg. Put them at whatever height you want. Reach the left arm up and twist open. The first twist I think that we've done. So enjoy opening from heart to hand. Flex your toes toward the ceiling. Drop your hip down, your left hip down. And come back to center. Bend into your lunge again. And one more time, turn sideways on your mat. Wide legs. And this time, we'll, instead of being down on our blocks with our hands, we're gonna come up and we're gonna move through some low squats. So you can choose to move your hands in whatever way you want to move your hands. You can choose to be very still and only have a little bit of movement. You can also choose to go really long and wide with your arms. Just getting your legs to support your body weight. And then find your way all the way up to a stand. Wide, wide legs. Breathing deeply. So readjust if you want to turn around on your mat, if you ended up the wrong direction and you'd like to change, just make any changes you need. Inhale, reaching the arms up to the sky, and we'll find the side body stretch here, reaching over. As you drop some grounding into that left leg, reach the left leg or left arm up and over. Back to center, over to the other side. Keep the base of your skull as relaxed as you can. Okay, come back to center. Come down into a squat. Elbows can be on your knees, hands can be on your knees. Try not to lean way far forward. Be upright. Use your hands or elbows for some support. Lift your chest a bit. You don't have to be all the way upright, especially if you're on your elbows, but try not to be falling toward the ground. Breathing deeply. All right, and then slowly stand up. We're gonna do this in slow motion. You can do anything you want with your arms. I want you to try to make sure you're tracking. Our feet are wide, our toes are turned out. We want to try to track our knees in line with our feet as we slide down into a squat. And then slowly up. Okay, nice and slow. This is different when our legs are super wide versus when we do a squat with our legs closer. A lot more activity in your hips and glutes versus just your quads. So take a moment to experience the fullness of what you're doing. One more time. How's your breath? Sliding slowly down or coming slowly back up. All right, heel toe your feet in and come to neutral plane for a moment and just pause in Tadasana. We'll give some opportunity to just experience your breathing. Notice if when you inhale, you tend to rise up, kind of lift your shoulders, see if you can relax and let the in-breath expand in all directions, not this pulling up in your body. Come back to a wide-legged stance, and we'll turn our right foot out. Urdhva. We're going to do this with the block today. If you always do this with your elbow, let's do it with the block. So turn your toes out, right foot turned out. As we come into this posture, try to track your knee in line with your middle toes, and we'll start with the block behind your shin. And you can choose to bring the arm up. You can also just choose to have your arm down or straight up in the air if that's better for your body. Move your knee and your whole thigh toward your arm. Ground your feet into the earth. Open up through that side body as best as you can. Now pick up the block and bring it to the inside edge of your foot and try to move your knee away from your elbow, grounding through the foot, finding that extension. Feel your back leg root into the ground. We'll come all the way back up again. Let's turn our feet and do the same pose. Second side. Block is on the outside edge of your shin. As we come into this pose, track your knee over your ankle in line with your middle toe. So not letting the knee cave in toward the front. Okay. Hand on a block, and you can stack 2 blocks if you need more height. Feel that extension. Open up across your heart. Maybe your arm stretches overhead. Try to move your leg into your arm. Ground the foot. Ground both feet. Feel that strength. Feel the openness through your ribs. And then without coming out of the pose, just bring the block to the inside edge and see if you can let your knee move away from your arm. So try to release the touch between the two. Root into your feet. All the way back up. Turn your feet. And let's turn to the front of your mat for a dog pose. And as you come into that neutral plane, notice when your legs get a little release from coming closer together. Breathe into this release. Let your exhales go. Notice what you're letting go of, even if it's just a simple act of letting go of a pose. See if you can surrender and release and invite that new breath in. Let's come forward into a plank. Hold yourself steady here, rooting down through your hands and your feet, finding your breath. All right, and then let's go ahead and put your knees down first if you need that. Find the ground. Shoulders rolling. Let's take the arms down at your sides, palms facing the ground. Inhale, lift everything you can up. Back of the body is working hard. Squeeze all the muscles along your back. Feel your glutes and your hamstrings. Lift your triceps. Exhale and melt. Put your head on your hands. Pick up your feet and rock your feet left and right. Come on up onto all fours. Move your spine about. We're gonna turn sideways on our mat to come into gate pose. So shin is on the ground. Let's have the right shin on the ground, left leg out. So my toes, my ankles are pretty flexible, so I can bring my toes to the ground, but that may not be the case. And if that's the case for you, you can stick a block underneath your toes so you have that anchor point for your foot. So whatever feels better. Okay. Finding breath. We're going to reach the right arm up. Try not to stick the right hip out. Hug the hip in, press the shin down. Find the length. So, the hamstrings are doing some work here. Feel the reaching up and over into gate pose. Maybe you want to hold the back of your head if you feel like you have a hard time releasing the base of your skull. Maybe the reach through the arm feels really nice in your ribs. So just find your posture. And come back to center. And let's switch sides. We're coming on to our left shin. Right foot is out. Support underneath your toes if you need. Extra bit of support under your knee if you need. Try to stack your hip over your knee instead of letting the hip out or sliding too far. Reaching the arm up in the air, feel that extension and anchor over to the side. Press your shin down. Engage through your glutes and your hamstring. Relax the base of your skull. Support it if you need. Breathing deeply, opening up through that side of your body. out of the pose, come onto all fours. And wag your tail. Of course, you can come on fists if your wrists are unhappy. Wag your tail a little bit and find your way to child's pose. And as you do this, feel the compression and squeeze through your hip joints. Open up your sacrum, your back. Full breaths. And back up onto all fours. We'll take that right foot straight back behind us. Integrate through your core. Press your left shin down. Pulse that leg a few times here. Finding breath. Let's reach the left arm out in front of you. Bird dog. Feel that extension. Feel the back body working. Press the right shin into the ground. Deep breath. Exhale, elbow and knee underneath you. Inhale, bring it out. Exhale, bring it in. And then let's bring that hand down onto the ground and switch sides. We'll take our left leg straight back behind us. Square your hips, square your ribs, engage your core. Feel that fullness of your glutes and your hamstring. Find your breath. When you're ready, bring the right arm out to join. Try not to let your ribs fall. Integrate. Look down at the ground. Press your shin and your hand into the earth. Lift that leg. Deep breath in. Exhale, elbow and knee underneath. Inhale, bring it long. Exhale. Bring it in. Inhale, bring it long. Hand down, knee down, child's pose. Settle your hips toward the heels again. Focus on the compression in your hip joints and the openness through the back of your sacrum. Come to sit, grab a blanket to sit on so that you have a little bit of height underneath you. You might need a strap. All right, so as you come upright, let's just start by sitting cross-legged. We'll do a twist here. Okay, so we're reaching the right arm up in the air. Take the hand to the outside of the knee and twist. Drop the shoulders, open across the chest. Breathing well. Back to center, arm lifting high. Exhale, bring that elbow to the outside of the knee. Finding your breath as you twist. Every breath in, a new opportunity. Every breath out, a new opportunity. All right, come back to center and let's come into Janu Sirsasana. So the right leg is going to be straight. The left leg is going to be bent, and let's have a strap available. You might need a block underneath your knee, depending on how your knee feels, so you can support yourself in whatever way you need. We'll do this first with our leg pointing straight, and then we'll bring it out to the side. So feel that extension. Lift up, maybe even lift your arms for a moment, so you feel the strength of the back of your body, and then wrap that strap around your foot. Grab onto it and feel the lift upward. Okay, so use the pull of the strap to give you something to lift from. Feel the full spine lift upward and then forward. So not downward. We're never going downward. We're going up and forward. And then you can, if you want, take the strap just into your left hand, right hand on the ground to have that little support of the teeniest of twists that's in this pose. So the torso is facing straight leg. Breathe as you lengthen. Let this pose unfold. Imagine you have a sandbag on the top of your left thigh, right at your hip crease. Come on up. Take the strap in your right hand and bring your full right leg out to the side. All right, so side body stretch again. Root your thigh, right thigh, left hip bone, rooting. Feel that reaching upward and extend over to the side. Finding your breath. See if you can stack one shoulder over the other instead of rolling toward the floor. Imagine a sandbag on that femur bone. So a hand at the hip crease pressing down. All the way back up. Let's neutralize with 2 legs in the strap for a moment. Don't go forward very much. Just feel that extension as you pull the strap on both feet. And then we'll switch to the second side. So now our right foot is bent, support underneath your knee if you need it. For a moment, maybe reach your arms up so you feel the strength of your back. Breathing well. And then bring your foot, the strap around your foot. Feel that reach and length in the body. Upward, upward, then forward. Rooting your thigh down, rooting the right sit bone down, left thigh down. Find the stability of your pelvis. We're in a neutral low back curve, so we're not pushing back with our spine. The pelvis is slightly anterior to, this is why we're on the edge of a blanket. Flex the toes upward toward the sky. Feel that extension. Let the breath take you where the pose can go. All the way back up. And take the strap out onto that left foot and bring the left foot out to the side. Hold the strap in a place that's comfortable. Feel that extension as you reach upward through the right hand. See if you can ground like a hand is pressing down on the head of that femur bone right at the hip joint. So that we have an anchoring of our right head as we lengthen through our right side. Such a good pose to open up those deep muscles in the low back. So see if you can feel the extension through that one side of your quadratus lumborum, through your transverse abdominis. Gets a good stretch here. Lots of things opening up. How's your neck? Is it nice and easy? How's your breath? Come all the way back up. This time our neutralizing pose will be legs apart instead of legs together. So wide stance. And you can come wherever you go. You can keep your hands behind you and kind of stay upright so that you're lengthening through your spine this way. Or you can have your hands come forward in front of you. You can have your hands on your legs. So however your body is supported, blocks are nice if you need it. Root through your legs, engage your quads, kneecaps lifted, femur bones down. Find your breath. Bring your legs back in toward neutral, soles of the feet together. But instead of pulling our feet really close into our pelvis, we're going to pull our feet a little wider away from our pelvis, forming a diamond or a square shape between our legs. Lift up through your spine, elbows come onto your knees. And if you need more lift, you can always put a block on each knee too, so that you can stay even more upright in your spine. So just kind of find the way your body is most comfortable. We're still on the edge of that blanket to tip the pelvis into a neutral place. Open up the bottom of your feet, drop your knees, a little weightedness on your knees with your elbows, long spine. You have there's so many choices of hip stretch here. If you want, this may not feel comfortable, so I'll give you lots of choices. You can rock the baby. So I'm holding my elbows against my foot and my knee, and my hands are interlaced, and I'm kind of rocking my shin like it's a baby, or stillness. And remember, your rocks can be left, right, but they can also be a little bit front, back. If this is not available for you, you can do fire log if you'd like. You can go onto your back for a reverse pigeon pose, whatever posture feels nourishing to, just a good deep hip opener. So choose your pose, lengthen up through your spine, wherever, even if you're on the ground, your spine can stay long, the hips are square, the pelvis is broad, the breath is deep. If you're in fire log, make sure you're erasing knee wrinkles in your inner ankle, pressing through the big toe and inner heel. Whatever you're doing, relax your shoulders and breathe. Release that side. And we'll come to the second. So your choices, lots and lots of choices. If you choose to rock the baby and you have your foot and your knee and the crooks of your elbows, but you're rolled way back and your back is way rounded, maybe that's not the best pose for you. So, choose wisely. So if you're rocking, remember you can rock left to right. You can rock a little bit front back. You can also place your foot on your knee and come into fire log. You can come into reverse pigeon. So just choose your favorite way of opening up your head. Or maybe your not favorite way, but just the way for today. Whatever you're choosing, the spine is spacious, the breath is full and deep. Melt somewhere. Sense of balance across your hips. You feel ready and there's no rush. So feel like, ooh, I'm just really diving into this spot. Then you get to just dive into this spot. And if you're ready to make a change, we're all gonna come down onto our back. Whenever you're ready to join. Have a moment of just putting your feet down onto the ground. Take your feet a little wider and not the knees. And you can take your feet as wide as you want so that your knee knocking can create a little or a lot of internal rotation. Bring the arms out to the sides and just rest here for a minute. All right, keep your feet wide. And we're going to just knock one knee at a time. So knees are wide to begin. We'll drop our right knee toward our left foot. And then pick it up. And left foot toward our left knee toward your right foot. So just back and forth. A little bit of windshield wipering, but we're kind of in that internal rotation of our hip joint as we windshield wiper. Start the forward flexion just by simply drawing the knees toward the chest. A little bit of rocking, see how your back is doing. You can stay right here, or you can come into happy baby pose, grabbing your feet and dropping the tail. Or you can come into some rocking flowers if you'd like, where we're just opening up the back line of the body, however you want to do that. All right, so whatever your posture is, just enjoy. All right, and we'll put our feet down onto the mat. Rest here for a minute, neutral spine. Breathing deeply. And then just ask yourself, is there anything else that you need before Shavasana? Maybe you have a little trial run, straighten your legs and check in with your body. Is there anything needed? See then if yes, go do what you need. And if no, then maybe your body just wants to settle in this pose. Now remember, you can take any sort of prop and you can take up props underneath your knees. You can be lying on your side. You can put your legs up on something. You can put your pelvis up on a block and lift your legs in the air. So just find what's going to feel good for the way you want to rest in Shavasana. And as you come into this posture, you know, maybe you've been twisting or maybe you've been doing something else to get yourself ready for Shavasana. But when you are ready, take notice. Are you comfortable? Does something need to change? Once you get to a place where you're ready to dock, stand first with your skull. Relax your eyes. Melt them back. And let your corners of your eyes rest. Deep sockets of your eyes rest. Feel all your skull bones soften and settle. Relax through your heart. Through your neck. Taking the depth of your breath into your awareness. Notice how good it feels to breathe deeply in, fully out. Today in Shavasana can be different. Some days are deeper, more relaxed than others. Sit on more easily than others. Feel that good reach of the body, extend. Have a moment of curling over onto your side. And as we transition, take a little bit of your practice with you, your awareness of self, the calming presence, the awareness of your breath. Come up onto a comfortable seat as you feel ready. There's zero rush, never rush, ever in the yoga practice. Our nervous systems do not like rushing, so let the calmness continue. To get to a comfortable seat, notice the impacts of your practice. Sometimes you notice it right away, and sometimes the impacts are very cumulative. Just notice how you feel. That's all for our gifts. Share with another. Namaste.